Hello. Okay, now I'm also streaming live on Instagram as well. So let me try to do that. Take care of that. Oh my gosh, I'm live on Instagram. Hello, everyone. Happy Astrological New Year. Yay! Oh, let me wave. Hello, JJ. My good friend JJ has joined. So guys, I have my phone here with Instagram, and then I have Facebook here live. So I will be going back and forth here. So welcome, happy Astrological New Year. Yeah, so let me introduce myself. My name is Lydia McCarty from the Truest North, and I am an astrologer. And the sort of specialty of astrology that I do is called Archetypal Astrology, which is closely related to Carl Jung's. Oh my gosh. Which is closely related to Carl Jung's concepts of archetypes as being these primordial, universal forces that lie within all of creation. And so they also, because they lie within all of creation, they lie within human beings as well, and they're responsible for the human psyche. And so with my practice of astrology, what I do is I help people get in touch with the archetypes deep within themselves that are yearning to be brought out, to be expressed by their soul. And by doing that, by getting in touch with their soul's desire, that way they have a real chance to live their best life, as they say. Yes. So if you are interested in my services and learning more about me, you can go to my website, www.thetruestnorth.com. I do personal readings, and tonight will just be, a broad general overview, because I'm doing it for like the entire population, the whole world. Going over, the full moon and what that means, as well as Uranus and the spring and the upcoming summer eclipses. But everybody, based on the day they were born and the year and the time and the place that they were born, everybody has their own specific chart, which is reflective of the positions of the planets in relationship to the earth at the moment you took your first breath. And so the planets, which represent these different archetypes, and where they were in the sky at the moment you took your first breath, are what give you your individual life story, your individual hero's journey. And so, I would to get in touch, to get the most out of an astrological reading that's totally personalized and individualized for you. You would need to schedule a one-on-one consult with me. And these last an hour and a half, and we really go deep. And so, so thetruestnorth.com. And my services are on there. There are different types of services I provide, different types of readings, different types of reports that are available through me as well. And those include like relationship reports if you have, you want to know more about you and your partners, and charts and how those sort of go together. And yes, my social media, IG at The Truest North. And then my Facebook page is also entitled The Truest North. And let's see, Twitter, I'm at Lydia's Truest North, LYDIAS, Lydia's True North, Trunorth. Yeah, just looking at the screen there, somebody. So at Lydia's True North, I will be more active with astrology-based topics on Twitter in the future. So let's get started. You know, I've had this celebration. This is my first ever astrology-based live stream, and I'm doing it in celebration of the Astrological New Year, which is today, and there's like a real name for it. It's called International Astrology Day. And we're celebrating the rebirth of the sun today. The sun is the center of the solar system. Everyone has a sun. Most everyone knows their sun sign. And the sun, astrology, Western tropical astrology, is based on the seasons. And so when the sun goes north of the equator, that represents its entrance into the first sign of the zodiac, which is Aries, and it represents the sun being reborn and getting stronger. So it's the rebirth of the sun as he, continues to go north, and he gets stronger and stronger until fall, when the sun hits below the equator. And that's when the sun gets weaker, and it nears the end of its life cycle until it is reborn next spring. So the sun was reborn today. We're in the energy of Aries. Aries is the first sign. It's the sign of I am. Aries energy has a natural sense of its own divinity. It's about fresh starts, going forward, pioneering, risk taking, new beginnings. And so Aries season is all about new beginnings, And this is a very special spring equinox, International Astrology Day, Astrological New Year, because not only do we have the rebirth of the sun, but we also have a full moon tonight. And the moon is, the sun is the divine, represents the divine masculine, while it represents the spirit, while the moon represents the divine feminine, the soul, and it's closely related to earthly matters, because the sun is divine. It is full of light, and the moon reflects that. So just as the moon rules form and matter and the functions of the physical body, so the physical body is reflecting the sun, which it symbolizes spirit. So just as physical bodies and physical matter here is a reflection of spirit, that's what the moon represents to the sun. This is all symbolic. The whole world is full of symbols and archetypes and all that stuff. And so the moon represents, it rules matter and form, and it's very closely related to what happens here on Earth. If you want to know when to begin something or when to complete and let go of things, you want to follow the cycles of the moon. The moon is, the sun is reborn every year, but the moon is reborn every month. It goes through its life cycle every month. And so the full moon, which we have tonight, hello everyone, wave. The full moon, which we're having tonight, full moons are a time of something coming to completion and like being revealed. It's like the fruit of labor that we've been putting into something. The fruit of that is revealed to us. And so it is, I have a list. I want to make sure that I hit all of this, guys, because there are a lot of things that the full moon energy is great for. It is the most powerful stage of the moon. It's the moon at her most beautiful, her ripest, her most giving. If you were to compare it, because the moon is closely related to women, it has rulership over women. So if you were to compare it to the life cycle of a woman, it will be like a pregnant woman. She's shining with her highest glory. The moon is the nurturing principle. She's nurturing new life. And so the moon gives the most at this stage. She is fully illuminated. We see her whole face. She is at her most powerful because she's fully illuminated by the sun. in this stage. And so full moons are a time of manifestation, revelations, increased activity, heightened emotions. You know, the name for the moon is Luna. That's another name for the moon. And that's where because the moon is so closely tied to emotions, and our emotions tend to be heightened around the full moon, especially around a lunar eclipse, which we'll get into later. People have noticed that connection over time. And loony, the word loony actually stems from Luna, the moon. So I just love to mention that. I think it's so interesting. So yes, increased activity, heightened emotions, heightened psychic ability, the perfecting of ideas, you know, ideas finally coming to you fully. You have an understanding of them. Making and renewing commitments are also the full moon. Celebrations. It's the best time for spells or rituals of any kind. Prayers, meditations, mantras, whatever it is you do. The full moon, again, it's the most powerful phase of the moon. So it's the best time for that. Full moon is a time of results, reaping rewards and the rewards are equal to the work you put in. So yes, and yeah, things being revealed. And this full moon, it's not just usually the full moon, not a lunar eclipse, which is a heightened full moon, but a regular full moon. Usually you feel the effects for 2 weeks, the 2 weeks until the new moon, which is about new beginnings. But because this full moon is happening on a day of new beginnings, on the sun's birthday. I don't know if I would call it the birthday, but the sun being reborn, because it is happening on a day of new beginnings, new birth. It's like leaving its imprint on us for the next 365 days. So the full moon is happening. A full moon always happens when the moon is opposite the sun. And they always have to do with relationships of some sort. I did want to mention that again. The full moon has to do with relationships. But especially so because the sign opposite Aries, and Aries is the sign of me and what I want to do. My personal desire to act. That's Aries. It's opposite Libra, which is the sign the full moon is taking place in tonight. And I think the exact full moon, it happens at 9:43 p.m. Eastern tonight, guys. So Libra is the sign of, because it's opposite of Aries, Aries is the sign of me. Libra is the sign of relationships, contracts, relationships with other people. Libra rules one-on-one relationships. So that includes your romantic partner, your spouse, any long-term relationship you're in, serious, committed. And it also rules partnerships of all kinds. So business partnerships, close friendships that you have with another person. That's under Libra, because Libra is the we energy, while Aries is I. And it also rules relationships with clients that you have. That would be one-on-one relationships, clients and anybody that you're dealing with one-on-one. It rules contracts, negotiations, agreements, equality, diplomacy, it rules balance of all kinds. And because of that, Libra has rulership over art and beauty, which are also closely related to the desire for balance and equality and even proportions. So those subjects those subjects are going to be dealt with by everybody over the next couple of days while we're in. I just got a mess. While we're under the influence of this Libra full moon. But again, it's going to be a theme for all of us over the next 12 months. And for each sign, the area that this full moon is going to be impacting the most is going to be highlighted. It's going to be highlighted in a different area for each person. And I'll get into that. So I do want to say, though, that this full moon is likely, it's going to be accompanied by some tension, because Libra is ruled by Venus. Now, Venus is the goddess of beauty and desire and values. What do we value in life? Where do we find comfort and some semblance of peace? Right? Venus is the goddess of love. She is the ruler of Libra, and rulerships are very important in astrology. And then the ruler of Aries, who Libra, the full moon in Libra is opposite the sun in Aries. The ruler of Aries is Mars. Okay, so Libra and Mars, not to make this too complicated for you guys, but Libra and Mars, the rulers of the planets that are in this full moon configuration, sun opposite moon. So Libra and Mars, you've heard men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Well, Mars is the natural counterpart to Venus, and it rules masculinity, aggressiveness, fighting, going after what you want, inflicting your will and like defending yourself. That's Mars. They're in hard aspect tonight. So Venus is very much what we desire, and Mars is, and hard aspect means that they are having like a crisis. They don't agree with each other right now. There's like a crisis of consciousness going on here. And we're all feeling this collectively. So Venus is what we want and what we desire. And that's at will with what we're willing, like our confidence. Mars has a lot to do with confidence. Our confidence and what we're willing to work for and go after in life. So this will be playing out for people, different signs in different areas. We call that houses in astrology, and I'll get into that more. But I do want to let you guys know that, because the rulers are sort of they're in a conflicting aspect with each other. There is some tension going on with this full moon and the subject of relationships and one-on-one relating overall. So, yes. Oh, okay. So Venus is in the sign of Aquarius currently, and Venus rules this full moon. She has rulership over this full moon, and Aquarius is an air sign that is about my hopes, goals, and wishes. What is it that I want to achieve in life? So these are themes that are playing out tonight and over the next couple of days while we're under this full moon's influence, but also like over the next 365 days, right? So Aquarius is, what is it that I desire to achieve? My hopes, goals, and wishes. Aquarius rules friendships, groups, networking, complicated systems. Aquarius energy is about becoming bigger than I am by myself. It's sort of a big thinking. It rules politics and society, the economy as well. So Aquarius is very much, it can be very much abstract in nature and abstract and detached. It's about big ideas, big thinking. And it is square to Mars and Taurus. And this is that crisis of consciousness, that crisis aspect that I was telling you guys about, why this full moon, and this is why this full moon is accompanied by some tension. And so Taurus is a very earthy sign. It's very practical. Taurus is about I don't want to just act on, these big dreams that, I seem to get these big goals that I have. What is practical here? What is going to support me? Taurus rules money. Taurus rules money, the five senses, what is keeping me comfortable, what is giving me shelter. Taurus is about what physically supports the body, food. Taurus rules food. Like, are these big dreams going to feed me? So those are some of the crises that we're all dealing with, but in different areas of our lives. But that's just to give you some understanding of that. And between the two of them, guys, Venus went out here because Venus is making what is called a sextile aspect. And it means a 60-degree aspect to the planet Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is like the cosmic big daddy of the zodiac, the cosmic sugar daddy, the cosmic Santa Claus. Jupiter is about abundance, faith, hope, just having the universe like on your side. Jupiter brings, gifts and opportunities for expansion. It's very similar to, Jupiter is in Sagittarius right now, which is very similar to that Venus and Aquarius energy, and that Jupiter always in Sagittarius want to grow, become bigger than themselves. It's about growing, my belief system through opportunities to venture outside the known. So the lure of, you always follow Jupiter and the sun in astrology for happiness whenever you can. And Jupiter making such a tight, supportive aspect to Venus tonight, and this is happening tonight, is strong, is the sky saying, go with your dreams, Aquarius, hope, Venus and Aquarius, hopes, goals, and wishes. I'll help you. Strong sextiles are about presenting you with an opportunity. And for each sign, I'll go through where that opportunity is going to appear for you. All right. So I'm going to start going through the signs, the full moon and its effect on each sign now. You can listen for your sun, your moon, or your sun or your moon sign. Most people, not a lot of people know their moon sign nowadays, although it is growing. I'm not going to say that because astrology is growing in popularity. Everybody knows their sun sign, right? Everybody knows I'm I'm a Taurus, I'm a Libra because I was born October 1st, or I'm a Cancer, I was born July 1st. But the most accurate way to listen to your horoscope is through knowing your rising sign. And you need the time of birth for your rising sign. So I would recommend, and this is just a general overview. You might have some planets in Libra that are getting lit up, or some planets in Aquarius or Sagittarius that are getting lit up by this as well. Oh, more messages. Yes. So, sorry guys. Okay. So you can listen for your sun and moon as well, but the rising sign is the most accurate way to listen to your horoscope. So I'm going to go down, starting with Aries through the zodiac. And then I'm going to try, and then after that, oh my gosh, wait. And then after that, I'll come back to, giving you some information about Uranus and the upcoming summer eclipses. Okay. So for Aries, the full moon is happening in your 7th house. Also, guys, because the full moon is happening in Libra, which is a cardinal sign which means it's a sign of activity, I recommend taking action based on where the full moon is happening in your life. I recommend taking action in that area tonight, or, the next couple of days. Especially with it being the birth of the sun again. I'd say the birth of the sun, with it being spring. So this is about new beginnings, and since it's in Libra, it's new beginnings, and definitely related to relationships and how we relate or negotiate or deal with other people. Libra is about me and another person. How do we balance things here? So for Aries, the full moon is happening in your 7th house, and this means that partnership themes are highlighted. Aries Aries rising especially, you have the natural wheel, so things are going to naturally, your houses are going to line up to where this is happening in your 7th house, Libra house of relationships. Something is going to be revealed, or you'll see the fruits of your labors related to 7th house topics. So partnerships, negotiations, contracts, partnerships, negotiations, contracts, all those one-on-one relationships that you have in your life related to your, it'll be related to your spouse. Maybe something is being revealed about your spouse or a business partner. What else? 7th house. Also, if 7th house is also rules like legal disputes that you're having with another person, like the lower court. 7th house would be like small claims court. So if you're involved in anything like that, you could have some kind of revelation revealed, some revelation about that revealed to you tonight. Now, where, you're having your Venus Mars sort of conflicting desires here is you have Venus and Aquarius in the 11th house. So this is signifying a desire to join with something, make yourself grander in some way, realize some hope, some goal, some vision by joining with, friends or a group of friends, or joining with a group of friends, or joining with, some organization or networking, something like that, versus Mars and Taurus. Now, in the 2nd house. Now, the 2nd house is closely associated with Taurus. It's about what supports me. It's my money. It's my possessions. It's my resources. Mars and Taurus in the 2nd house is more interested in, what will realistically make me money here. So you're sort of torn between those two things. But again, Venus is going to win out here. So Venus gets that sextile from Jupiter, which is happening for you, Aries, and Sagittarius in your 9th house. So Jupiter is going to be presenting you with an opportunity for expansion, for growth, to like achieve those hopes, goals, and wishes that you have through 9th house subject. So the 9th house, the opportunity is going to come in the form of travel. It could be traveling. These are 9th house things I'm talking about. Traveling, university, higher education, through an expansion of your belief system. The 9th house rules institutions of higher learning. So it can be through church or through university. It's where this person can come. Also, 9th house is guru. So it can come through gurus. So it can come through a guru or some teacher that you have. Some teacher that you have through travel, or someone from a different culture. It can be an opportunity for publicity. 9th house is publicity. It's very similar to the 11th house in that it's about expanding and getting your name out there, getting you out to a wider audience. So, look for that opportunity in those areas, things related to your belief system, or some opportunity that comes through the expanding your mind in some way. That's what 9th house is, through travel, through, a change in you might have to, it could come through somebody at church, or, it could be due to some idea that you have, that relates to like your philosophy or something like that. So look out for that. And that's how you can take advantage of that Venus Jupiter energy. All right, for Taurus, the full moon is going to be happening in your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is the house of your day-to-day routine. So it rules your work environment, because most people spend their day like working. It rules all the routines that you have. You get up at this time. Yeah, so it could come through your work environment. It could come through something. It could be like a revelation related to your health. Sixth house is health, your health. It's your coworkers. It could actually come through like a revelation about something having to do with pets. Sixth house is pets or anybody that depends on us. It can be your employees. There can be some kind of revelation regarding your employees. And again, it can be something like related to your health, related to health. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that, or sixth house is problems and like imbalances that sort of plague us. So this could be like a revelation or an answer coming to you about how to solve some problem. And since the full moon is in Libra, it's going to have to do with some kind of balance being needed because Libra rules balance. So you want to watch out for that. Work, health, routine, people that depend on you, like employees, pets, your work environment, your coworkers. There's going to be some kind of revelation related to that. And the work you do. Sixth house is, most people spend their day like in the sixth house, doing mostly sixth house stuff. Sixth house is the work you do and how you take care of your body. So Venus-Mars, the Venus-Mars square, where you're going to be experiencing, hi Dawn, or you're going to be experiencing some kind of crisis of consciousness. For you, that's happening in your 10th house, Taurus, square Mars in your first house. So Taurus, Mars in the first house is saying you are the practical one. You want to take action that'll get you practical results. That's what I'm thinking of. Mars in Taurus takes action, Mars, in order to get practical results that will benefit it, like physically, financially, and whatnot. So that's where you're coming from, Taurus. But Venus and Aquarius in the 10th house. 10th house is the house of your career, and and Aquarius is your goal. So this has very much to do with, your career goals for yourself. 10th house could also be, having to do with your reputation. And because it's an Aquarius, like your friends or network or group that you belong to could have something to do with this. So maybe like your reputation within some network that you belong to, your hopes, goals, and wishes for your career, some desire that you have for that. It could be related to, a desire for status, because the 10th house is like your status and like your role in society, while the 6th house is your like daily work environment, what you do at work, like your routine at work. The 10th house is like your overall career and what you're known for in society. And so the 10th house is also your dominant parent, whoever the dominant parent is in your life. There could be some kind of revelation related to your dominant parent, whether that's the mother or your father. So there's something that you desire in that area that you may think is impractical, and you're like wondering how to, whether, like this dream is even worth chasing. You know what I mean? Related to your career or your status, your reputation, or, what your dominant parent again, or some authority, like 10th house is your boss. If you have a boss, some 10th house people may be like entrepreneurs or, maybe a business owner, but it could be like your boss or the person that employs you. That would be 10th house as well. Maybe you desire to be your own boss, but like you're saying, that's not practical. But Venus again will win out, and the saving grace is Jupiter, which is going to be Scorpio. It's going to be in your 8th house, Taurus. So I like Jupiter in the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of other people's resources, other people's money, possessions, talents that could help you. So Jupiter here could help you through another person offering you their resources, their money, their talents, their possessions, something that could help you, like support you in your own career. Eighth house is also deeply psychological. It's where we sort of merge our stuff with other people's stuff. And so eighth house is where we like have all our psychological issues that we've sort of buried. So Jupiter usually has a healing energy. Jupiter there could help to reach some kind of, psychological breakthrough that allows you to like manifest some kind of opportunity, or allows you to receive from other people. Jupiter through the eighth house makes it easier for us to receive help from other people, which can help you, in your career. I'm just going by like the general archetypes, the general symbolism that these things are talking about. You have to look at all the other stuff going on in one's chart, but just on general symbolism, you could definitely have help from other people here. It could also manifest. Eighth house is also the house of mysteries. So it could manifest through like uncovering some hidden information, or through like deep research or occult studies, or through like studying astrology. Like the eighth house has rulership of astrology, along with the 11th house too. But the eighth house has rulership over astrology and like occult, mystical subjects. So, and Jupiter is a learning planet because Jupiter is about growth and expanding your knowledge base. And so, if you're studying something like that, all my Taurus people, especially my Taurus risings, then, that can help you in like your career aims. Yes. Okay. So Gemini is next. Now, Gemini, especially my Gemini risings, this is taking place in your fifth house of creativity, your creative genius, love, the things that bring you joy and the things that make you happy. The fifth house is a really fun house usually. A full moon in the fifth house can reveal, some genius, creative idea finally coming into manifestation for you. Finally, like you just get this genius idea to create something new, something wonderful, something that's a true expression of who you are. It could be, fifth house is also sharing our creativity with other people. So, you could have the opportunity, Libra is another person, you can have the opportunity to share something that you've created with another person, which could be beneficial for you. Fifth house is also the house of children. So it could have some revelation related to your children, because fifth house is children of the mind and of the body. It could also be something related to love affairs and like romance. That's also the fifth house, because those love affairs and romance, they make us very happy. So, and Libra is the sign of relationship. So for you, Gemini, you can get a date, a really nice date, or like something like that. Hobbies, gambling, are also fifth house topics. So something could be, maybe you could have, depending on what's going on in your chart here, you could have like some kind of stroke of luck at the casino or something like that, which, could carry through for the next year, because, this is imprinting on us for the next year. But definitely something having to do with the fifth house is the house of joy. What makes you happy? And this full moon is trying to reveal something about, what makes you happy, what brings out your authentic self-expression. Now for you, Gemini, the crisis of consciousness is going to be happening in the ninth house, Venus in Aquarius versus the 12th house. Okay, so let me tell you what that means. Venus and Aquarius in the ninth house. The ninth house is the house of our belief systems, our aspirations. What the ninth house is really like, what do we believe in? What do we have faith in? what the ninth house shows, you know, your vision of God. Like, what is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? You know, how do you make a picture of the whole world? What is your belief? What are your beliefs about the world and the way it works? And your purpose in life. The ninth house is, what is your purpose in life? So Venus in Aquarius and the ninth house, that is desire related to those topics that I just mentioned. So, you know, a fondness for a certain belief system, or, you know, having an idea about a certain purpose in life. And it could be related to like Aquarius subjects having to do with community and society as a whole. Aquarius is big groups. So friendship groups that you belong to, networking. Venus, it could be ninth house is also, because it travel expands our mind. Ninth house also rules travel and foreign cultures. So it could be related to that. Venus rules romance. So maybe it's the possibility of having a romance with someone from a foreign culture for you, Gemini, because you've got that fifth house stuff going on too. Remember, fifth house is the house of romance where the full moon is happening. Now Mars in Taurus. Now it's square Mars in Taurus. So in the 12th house. Now the 12th house is a very murky house. It's sort of the 12th house rules like your stuff that you have that's connected to like the deep unconscious. So there may be, you know, some unconscious fears that, you know, may keep you from going for, you know, whatever this ninth house expansion opportunity. Ninth house is very much about the opportunity to expand. There may be some unconscious fears that are keeping you from going for this, or maybe because the 12th house is so murky. The 12th house is also known as, and I'm going like with the more negative aspects of the 12th house, because this is a square aspect, which is challenging. Because the 12th house is so murky and Mars is how we take action, sometimes with Mars in the 12th, we can take actions that work against us. And we're not really aware that we're like self-sabotaging ourselves. That's like 12th house energy. Mars in 12th house can be self-sabotage. So, you know, you might have some unconscious fears, you know, an inability to let go, or like to understand that you're self-sabotaging yourself because of some unconscious fears. Maybe you fear like this, you know, this is impractical for me to do because it's Taurus. You know, it could be a fear that, you know, if I do this, I might lose money or something like that. That would be a Taurus thing. Yeah, but Venus will win out. Venus should win out because, and you're going to have a sextile from Venus in the 9th to Jupiter in the 7th house, Sagittarius, because Gemini is opposite Sagittarius. So Sagittarius sits in Gemini's 7th house. Gemini, 7th house is the house of relationships. It's the Libra house, the one-on-one relationships. You've got Venus in the 9th, full moon in the 5th, Jupiter in the 7th. This could very well be about like romance and relationship with you. Venus sextile Jupiter in the 7th could really be giving you an opportunity to expand your horizons through a relationship, maybe with someone from a different culture, and you're like sort of scared about that. Well, that's your sun sign, JJ. I would listen more to like the Taurus part for you, but Gemini, that is your sun sign. It you might have some of that going on. I have to look at your chart, but yes, but it could be like 7th house isn't just like romantic relationships. It could be like you know, a business partnership, or having to do with a client. a client may give you the opportunity to, a client or a business partner may give you the opportunity to expand your horizons. Maybe in some like group setting, or it could be, it could be, I'm thinking of the symbolism here. Someone else, Jupiter in the 7th house, someone else gives you the opportunity to like expand your horizons, expand your belief system, see the bigger picture here. Maybe, help you see a new purpose in life. But definitely it's coming through, the opportunity is coming through another person because it's in the 7th house. And because it's the sign of Sagittarius, it could be a foreigner, or it could be someone who is like a guru or like a teacher to you. Yeah. So take that chance that other person is representing to you. Okay. So for Cancer, let me take a sip of water, guys. So for Cancer, the full moon is happening in your 4th house of family. Cancer is the sign of family, of nurturing, of the mother-child relationship. So that's very apropos for you, Cancer. So Cancer, something is being revealed or brought to fruition regarding your family life, your home life, one of your parents. 4th house has to do with one of your parents. Maybe some land or real estate that you own, or, your actual physical home, wherever that is. What else is 4th house? Land, real estate. 4th house is the past. It could have to do with, something being revealed about, Libra is the sign of partnership. So it could be something in the 4th house of family. So it could be something revealed regarding, your parents' marriage or something like that, like something being revealed. What else is in the past heritage, ancestry? The 4th house is also like how emotionally safe we feel. It's similar to the moon in that way. Let me just make sure I'm still, oh my gosh. Hi. Oh my gosh, Rashia, hi. Rashia, I would have to, you would have to, like, I would have to, I couldn't calculate that on my own. She's asking me what her rising sign is. I can't calculate that on my own, like just off the top of my head, what your rising sign would be, because the rising sign could be any of the 12 zodiac signs. It changes every the sign changes, that's rising on the eastern horizon, changes every couple of hours. But I could, let's talk about that later. Okay, I would have to like use an ephemeris or put that into the computer to figure it out. But hello, hi Steph, hi Nate, Yolanda, saying hi to everybody that has joined me on Facebook. Okay, and so so for Cancer, Venus and Aquarius in the 8th. Okay, Venus in Aquarius in the 8th house is squaring Mars in Taurus in the 11th house. So Venus and Aquarius in the 8th house. So the 8th house is that one of the deep psychological houses. It's one of the water houses. So you have there's a desire here for like deep bonding. Like that's how a desire here for deep bonding with someone else, especially with Venus there, or a desire for intimacy, a desire for intimacy, a desire to like share someone else's resources, because 8th house is what other people have. It's like their possessions, their money, their the help that other people can give you. A desire to maybe find hidden information. What else is 8th house? It could be 8th house is very psychological, so it could be like a desire to deal with some deep psychological issue that you have. And being in Venus, like, it could be related to love, and in Aquarius, maybe a friend is trying to help you out with this. I'm not sure, but like, that's the symbolism that's going on there. Square Mars in Taurus in the 11th house. So there's a crisis between wanting that deep bonding, or like that deep, 8th house is deep diving. There's a desire to dive deep within yourself. Square Mars in Taurus. So Mars in the 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of hopes, goals, and wishes, of friendships, networks, or organizations that we're a part of. So maybe 8th and 11th house squares like that, it could be an issue of it could be an issue of what's like Mars, and because Venus is going to win out, let's see. So Mars and Taurus in the 11th house is very much about like working for the good of the group's values. That's the 11th house. Working for my hopes, goals, and wishes, my objectives. And 11th house is very much about community. It has to do with large groups of people. So probably like working, Mars and Taurus wants to work practically for the practical, to meet the practical needs of some large group that you're a part of. But Venus and Aquarius is more interested in not so much the group's values, but like your own deep psychological needs, or some values that you share like with another person. It's that 11th house energy is very much about what the group wants, or what like the group wants and values and needs, versus my own deep psychological needs and a need to bond deeply with another person of some sort. So Venus is going to win out, the deep psychological bonding with another person. You get the opportunity or to delve deep within yourself and like sort of focus on like some of your psychological trauma. I told you the 8th house is a very deep house. So Jupiter is going to help you do that, because from the 6th house. So you're going to get an opportunity to like go deep like you want to, like you have the desire to right now, through Jupiter. So help coming through the area of someone or something that's in your daily routine. Your daily routine related to your health or to your work environment. So Jupiter in the 6th house, it can come through like an employment opportunity. It can come through an employment opportunity. It can come through like a coworker. It can come through like it can come through some healing remedy, because the 6th house very much has to do with health. So some healing remedy. It can come through a pet, one of your pets, that's 6th house as well. Something in your daily routine, your daily environment. It can come through, I think I said your coworker, employees as well. That's also 6th house. So pay attention to what's happening in your work environment, or regarding your daily, everyday routine. There's going to be an opportunity there that can lead you to do some deep delving, some psychological healing. That's very 8th house. Yes. And so Leo, before we do that, guys, I want to just remind you guys that I do personal readings. This is all very generalized. Like, I'm doing this for the whole population, but everybody has their own specific chart, based on their date of birth, time of birth, and their rising sign. You have your own individual archetypes at work asking that your soul is asking to play out in this lifetime. So really like to do an individual reading that is accurate just for you. I would need to do a one-on-one reading. So you can go to my website, www.thetruestnorth.com, and check out the services that I offer there, where I do like a 1.5 hour reading one-on-one, and I can help you, go deeper and see exactly what it is, with not only this stuff going on, but what's touching your personal planets, the personal archetypes that are in your unconscious asking to be played out. How do you live your best life based on your the personal stuff you have going on in your own individual chart. Okay. Leos. Okay, so Leos. Okay, so Leos. I love Leos. Leos are like, I love all the signs, but Leos they're just so warm, and they have really big hearts. So shout out to any Leo people, sun, moon, rising, or with any strong Leo energy in their chart. So Leo, the full moon is happening in your third house. Now the third house has to do with, so the third house is the Gemini house. So it has to do with your perception and gathering information, how you communicate, whether that be writing or speaking. So something is going to be revealed about that there. And since it's in the sign of Libra, it may very well be how you communicate, how you talk and communicate and share your ideas with other people, like especially that you're in a one-on-one, you have some kind of one-on-one relationship with. So it could be romantic relationship, it could be a business partner or a client or something like that. But something here is being revealed. Some fruits are coming based on any work that you've done related to your communication skills, your communication abilities. And also, how you think, how you, third house is your perception. Third house is also your siblings, your aunts, uncles, and cousins. So it could very much be revealing something about them. Or maybe you've been working with them for related to something. Third house is also like local transportation. So it could have something to do with that. Third house is also marketing and commerce. So if you are like in marketing, or you do anything with marketing, like you own a business and you have to do some marketing, and you had like something you're working on in that area, then revelations can come to you about that over the next couple of days. And this is in effect, you'll feel this for like the next 12 months as well. So the two parts of you that are sort of in conflict here with this full moon, oh my gosh, guys. I might only have like 1 minute and 41 seconds left on my IG live. I'm going to restart it. Like if it says I have 1 minute and 33 seconds remaining. So if it ends, like I'm like trying to press it to see if it'll let me go on. But if it does, like I'll just totally restart it for all my IG people. Okay, this is my first time using IG Live. I'm not sure exactly how to manage that. Okay, so if it cuts off, I will totally restart it. So Venus and Aquarius. Okay, so Venus and Aquarius is in your 7th house. So there's a desire for relationship, partnership with another person. Some sort of contract, desire to have a contract, equality, to negotiate with another person. And since to negotiate with another person. This could be, a romantic partner, a client that you have, or a business partner. There's a desire for that, but you have Mars and Taurus in the 10th house. So the 10th house is the house of career, status, reputation. It's also your dominant parent. So there could be there's some pushback there related to, maybe getting involved in this relationship, whatever it may be. Hold on, guys. I've got to start my IG live over again. Welcome back. Okay. Now back to Venus and Aquarius and in the 7th house for Leo, and that desire for relationship or negotiating, diplomacy, some type of desire for relating to another person. It may be you have a square to Mars and Taurus in the 10th, so there could be some pushback regarding whether it's practical from, from the point of view of, perhaps one of your parents may be against this, or, maybe, is it practical to pursue a relationship at the expense of my career right now? It can be that. Or maybe, 7th house could be a client and 10th house could be a boss. So maybe there's, some conflict between, what your boss is telling you to do, and then maybe what a client wants you to do. It could play out like that. Or 7th house to the 10th house. 7th house could be like your partner having, a tenuous relationship with like one of your parents, because again, the 10th house is parents. So it could be very much, it could play out that way. But I will tell you, Venus and Aquarius in the 7th house, the partnership angle wins here because it's getting a sextile from Jupiter and Sagittarius in the 5th house. So Jupiter and Sagittarius in the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of love, romance, creativity, joy, authentic self-expression. You're getting an opportunity to pursue that with a partner, and that's the path that you want to follow here. That's very much the path that you want to follow. So yeah, there's an opportunity for, romance, creativity, joy here. Leo, if you want this, and it depends on what else is going on in your chart, but 5th house is also the house of pregnancy too. Jupiter and transiting the 5th house can often result in pregnancy. And if not pregnancy, it results in some opportunities for creation. So if not pregnancy, certainly a creation of your mind. So, or certainly romance is very creative, involves very creative aspects of us. So there you go. That's what you want to follow. All right, for Virgo, the full moon is happening in your 2nd house of money and finances and possessions, values, all that good stuff, Virgo. There is some kind of revelation that is regarding those things that is happening tonight. Any financial rewards that are due to you, for you based on, the work that you've done in the past, like a full moon in Libra here would deliver on that. Now, the tension with this full moon for you is coming from Venus and Aquarius in your 6th house, square Mars and Taurus in your 9th house. So what that means is there's a desire, Venus, to take action. This makes total sense for Virgos, but to take action in 6th house area of work, service, routine. So there's a desire to serve it can manifest as a desire to serve in your work environment. It can manifest as a desire to, and Aquarius is like the greater society. So maybe a desire to serve the underprivileged. That's Aquarius 6th house energy. It can manifest as a desire to work on behalf of some community or of some group that you're a part of, a desire to, 6th house is health regimens, and Aquarius is kind of a far out sign. So it could be a desire to try some kind of far out health regimen. But where you may be getting some pushback is from Mars and Taurus in the 9th house. Now, Mars and Taurus is very practical, and it may be saying, this goes against my beliefs, because the 9th house is the house of belief systems. So it could be saying, this goes against my beliefs. Mars and Taurus, it goes against my beliefs. If you believe it's not practical for some reason. That's what I'm getting from Mars and Taurus in the 9th house. Or it could be like, how you may have to travel or something like that. 9th house is travel, and you may be wondering, how are you going to get this done, this 6th house stuff done, work, service, maybe something related to your coworkers or your employees. How are you going to get that done? But the saving grace is Jupiter. Jupiter is going to present an opportunity to you from the 4th house, Jupiter and Sagittarius, and that opportunity to do those 6th house things that you desire. The opportunity is going to come through 4th house things. So look to your family to help you out. Your family, one of your parents. It could be an opportunity that comes through some land or real estate that you own, a home, your physical home. Like you could find something in your home that makes it possible for you to do this, this new diet, this new wacky diet that you want to try, or this new community project that you want to try. You want to try to service the community. There's something in your 4th house, home, family, it could be something coming from the past that supports you and being able to do this. So home, family, land, real estate, the past, those are things that'll present an opportunity for you over the next couple of days. And that's what you want to follow in order to be able to follow your desires related to, the house of health, work, and service to others. Libra. So Libra, the full moon is happening in your 1st house. So full moon is all about you. It's revealing something about you, and you want to take action here, Libra, based on taking action, 1st house, based on a relationship that you are in, or relationship. Again, it could be a romantic relationship, a business partnership, something to do with clients that you have, taking action on how you relate to other people. Maybe you want to improve on that. Or, Libra is a beauty sign. It rules art and beauty. So maybe taking action and getting an idea on how, you want to present yourself, how you want to look here. So it could be related to that as well. Or starting an idea that can help you, like, on your path, some revelation that helps you. 1st house rules our path in life. So something related to a path that you want to take in life. This full moon could reveal something like that to you. And again, it's very heavy with Libra themes of relationships, negotiation, equality, balance, all those things. Okay, so where the crisis of consciousness, that's how I always refer to squares. Where that's happening for you, Venus and Aquarius in the fifth house is square Mars and Taurus in the eighth house. Okay, so Venus and Aquarius in the fifth house. The fifth house is, I've mentioned it a couple of times before, but the fifth house, Venus in the fifth house, is the desire to experience joy and creativity, authentic self-expression. So you may have the desire to create something new. You may have a new creative idea. You may have, it can manifest as a desire to do something related to your children, because they are our creations as well. A desire to like authentically express yourself. Fifth house is also love and romance, love affairs and romance. So for you, love affairs, romance, it could be the desire to like go like on a date or something like that, or to get involved in some love affair. Yeah, and the fifth house is very much about fun. It could just be like the desire to have fun, to experience joy in your life. Now, you have Mars squaring that in Taurus from the eighth house. So eighth, fifth house. Oh my gosh. Hello, guys. So eighth, fifth house squares. Mars in Taurus. Eighth, fifth house. The eighth house is a very psychological house. So it could be like your desire for authentic self-expression can be pushed up against somebody else's values. Because the eighth house is where we sort of merge with another person. So it could be someone else's values, you feeling like that's sort of preventing you from authentically expressing yourself. It could be like it could have something to do with someone else's resources and someone else's money, sort of preventing you, making you feel like you're prevented from authentic self-expression, from creativity. It could also be, because the eighth house is so psychological, it could also be your own psychological hangups, sort of blocking you from like authentic self-expression, or sort of blocking your creativity, or blocking you from getting involved in some love affair or something like that. It could very much be about that, because the eighth house has to do with psychological blocks. It could be the eighth house is also the house of compulsions and addictions. It's like what we're ashamed of and what we try to hide about ourselves. So that could be, you could find that that's blocking your ability to be authentic and to be creative as well. So, but Venus in the fifth house of joy and creativity is going to win out, and you're going to get some help here from Jupiter. And that's going to be happening, appearing in your third house, Jupiter and Sagittarius in the third house. So the opportunity is going to come from third house areas of the way you think, the way you communicate, the way you express and share your ideas. It could come from your siblings. Third house is siblings. They could give you help and support in that. Siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, those are all third house. Any small groups that you're a part of, something in your daily environment can offer you the opportunity for creativity, to experience joy, love, romance, all those fifth house things. So look to your environment, any ideas that pop into your head. Jupiter and Sagittarius in the third house, it could also, the third house is commerce, marketing. It could also come through that as well, something related to that. So if you're, in business, third house is also, our own, it's also a creative house, because it's our ideas, where, we first sort of come up with things. And very much, it could have something to do with who you talk and communicate to. Who you talk, communicate to, write to, those are all third house things. And Jupiter through the third house, Jupiter rules society on some level. So it promotes expansion and getting your word out there as well. So, talk, pay attention to what you're thinking. And, the idea can come from there. That could be like a really good idea that blossoms into like this creatively genius idea. For Scorpio, let me see what. For Scorpio. So Scorpio, the full moon is happening in your 12th house. Let me check on my Facebook page here. Hi, Steph. Okay, so for Scorpio, my Scorpios out there, the full moon is happening in your 12th house. The 12th house is another one of those deep psychological, kind of mysterious houses that we're not always aware of. It has to do with what is in our unconscious. And the 12th house, the full moon in the 12th house is shining some kind of light on what is buried in the unconscious. So it's revealing something, and it's going to have to do with something that you're not entirely aware of. Stuff in the 12th house we don't really have a good hold on. There are aspects of ourselves that we don't entirely understand. And in the sign of Libra, it's going to have to do with relationships, relating to other people, our one-on-one relationships, whether that be romantic, related to, business partners or clients. It can also have to do 12th house because it's not really something that's clear to us. That can be a revelation of some self-sabotaging behavior that we have. 12th house can be on its negative side, self-sabotaging, so the house of self-undoing. It can be revealing some hidden expenses that we've got going on that we didn't know about. And on the more positive side, the 12th house is the house of the divine imagination, where we're connected to like the collective. And so the full moon here, especially if it's setting off something else in your chart, could be like divine creativity coming to you. Even, I talked about the 5th house and about how that's creative genius, but the 12th house is really like that, where we can go inside of ourselves and connect with the divine. And so it can be, some sort of divine creativity coming to you from the 12th house, something being revealed to you through dreams, through something being revealed to you through letting go. The 12th house is very much an inward house. It doesn't really have to do with the physical world at all. So things that are hidden, it can bring them to the forefront. Okay, so you're going to have an opportunity here, and there's like this whole crisis of consciousness thing that's coming along with this full moon and the revelations that it's bringing. So Venus in Aquarius in the 4th house shows some kind of desire to act related to your family, one of your parents. It could be related to some desire to act on the past, something related to land, real estate, your heritage, your ancestry. And again, that's a very family-oriented house. And some desire, it's also a house that has to do with like our own like conscious emotions, that we're aware of and that we acknowledge. Not like the 8th house, which is what we repress, and the 12th house, which we don't even have a clue about because it's so deep in the unconscious, but very much about a desire to act on some emotions that you're feeling. And then, so it's square Mars and Taurus in the 7th house. So that is the desire to act based on family and a desire for nurturing and emotional fulfillment and those things. In conflict with the 7th house. So that's the house of partnerships. So there could be a partner in some area of your life, somebody that you're partnered with, who's sort of preventing you from sort of like taking action related to those fourth house things, family, taking actions for your emotional safety, or to like taking actions based on the past. There's someone else who's sort of another person who's sort of blocking that. Or it could be the way you relate to other people is sort of causing some kind of crisis and taking that action. And the seventh house too, it could be like the fourth house is one of your parents as well. So what it could manifest is as like your partner and one of your parents sort of not being in agreement here. It could manifest like that. It could manifest as maybe Venus is money. So it could manifest as, wanting to like buy property. And then the seventh house is contracts and negotiations. Maybe there are issues with the contracts and the negotiations regarding the house, the land or property that you want to buy. It can manifest in several different ways. But the saving grace here is Jupiter and Sagittarius in the second house. Oh my gosh, Jupiter going through the second house. I love. The second house is the house of your money, your resources, your talents, the things that support your physical existence. And so you could be Jupiter through the second house. If you put in the effort, like it will definitely result in more money, more resources, more more possessions. So, if it can manifest like if you're making more money you can go ahead and put, money down or on this land, or you can buy this house that you want. Look to, your own money, possessions, your talents, money, possessions, talents, resources. Look to those things. Your talents can get you along. You may have the opportunity to like share your talents, and that gets you where you want to go. Yes. Okay, so we've got 4 more signs, guys. It's 9:22. We've got 4 more signs, and I just want to stop here and remind you guys that this is a very generalized. I'm doing this for, this is just the general symbolism that is manifesting archetypally for each of the signs. But this is for like the general population. Everybody has their own individual chart based on their birth time, place of birth, date of birth, and for more individualized reading, one-on-one, I would have, where I could sit down with you for like an hour and a half, and I would review your chart beforehand and tell you, what archetypes are playing out for you specifically. You would have to, schedule a one-on-one reading with me for that. So my website is www.thetruestnorth.com. My social media, my Instagram is @TheTruestNorth. My Facebook page is The Truest North as well. Okay, so let's go to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, the full moon is happening in your 11th house. This is where you want to take action here, and where things are going to be revealed to you. So the 11th house is the house of hopes, goals, and wishes. It's our objectives in life. What are our goals? It's where we go to become bigger than what we already are. So it has to do with joining with friendship groups, joining with like-minded people, groups, organizations, networking. So something is being revealed to you here. You may have, because it's Libra, you may have the opportunity to form a partnership with someone that you're part of a network with or something like that. So networks, groups, communities, if you 11th house rules complicated networks. So if you're into like the stock market or something like that, there could be some kind of revelation, some kind of deal, Libra rules deals that can be revealed to you at this time over the next couple of days. And again, this energy is going to be like imprinted in us over the next year as well. Okay, so the conflict for you Sagittarius comes from Venus and Aquarius in the 3rd house, square Mars and Taurus in the 6th house. And I will tell you what that means. Venus, again, is our desire. It's what we'd like to do. And the 3rd house is the house of our thinking. So there's our thinking, how we talk, how we communicate and express our ideas to others. So there's a desire to do that. And in Aquarius, it may be the desire to express your ideas to a group of people, to a group of like-minded people, the desire to exchange ideas with a group of like-minded people. 3rd house is marketing. 3rd house is marketing and commerce. So it could be a desire to, market yourself. To Aquarius is like a wider group of people. It's like an audience, a desire to market yourself to an audience. And again, very much having to do with your thinking. Maybe you want to think on a wider scale. Aquarius is big groups, appeal to a wider group of people. 3rd house is also siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. So it could be a desire to communicate or work with them in some way. Square Mars and Taurus in the 6th house. So Mars and Taurus in the 6th house, where you may find pushback, is from 6th house stuff. So is it practical? Will it fit into your daily routine? Can you, 6th house is your daily routine, your work, the work you do every day. Will that leave you enough time to pursue these 3rd house things? 3rd house squares, that can be like an overworked mind as well. So you're so busy trying to, like, you can overanalyze opportunity. You can overanalyze this desire that you have to spread your message to a wider audience. You can overanalyze that out of existence. You may have pushback from like coworkers or employees, or due to like practical responsibilities. That's 6th house that you already have, that prevent you from, that you feel like can prevent you from sort of pursuing the 3rd house opportunity, the 3rd house desires that I talked about. But Venus and Aquarius and the 3rd house will win out. And you're getting help from Jupiter and Sagittarius in the 1st house. So Jupiter is transiting your 1st house this year, Sagittarians. And Jupiter makes you more expansive, more willing to take risk. You have the desire yourself for a bigger purpose in life, new aspirations, a new belief system, going outside of your comfort zone. And you taking the action to communicate your ideas, exchange your ideas with other people, groups of like-minded people. You make your own opportunity here because Jupiter is in your 1st house. Jupiter is you. So getting your message out there to other groups of people and using that full moon in the 11th house that's revealing information about networks that you're a part of, using that to market yourself and get your message out there. Take action, get yourself out there, Sagittarius, and it will pay off. Jupiter is like the cosmic sugar daddy of the zodiac. So go for it. And he's your ruling planet. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So it's like guaranteed success for you here. Capricorn. So Capricorn, the full moon. I have to take a drink, guys. The full moon is going to be in your 10th house of career. That's so fitting for Capricorn. Capricorn is a sign that is highly associated with career, responsibility, status in the community. So something is being revealed to you, Capricorn, about your career goals, your career aims, your status, your reputation. And in the sign of Libra, it has to do with partnerships and negotiations, maybe some business partnership, or it could be like your spouse. Libra has rulership over spouses. So it could be like something being revealed about your partner's career or status as well. You know, there's a saying, whatever house Libra rules in your chart is what you're really married to. And that is so true for Capricorns, especially Capricorn risings. 10th house rules career. Is that Capricorn or not? That's what Capricorns are married to. Especially Capricorn risings I'm talking about. Yes. So yeah, it could very much have to do with a revelation of some kinds of negotiation or contract that you have related to your business as well. Now, Venus, where you might, there's like a crisis of consciousness going on for you, is Venus in Aquarius in the 2nd house, square Mars and Taurus in the 5th house. I'll tell you what that means. Venus, again, is the desire to do something. And in the 2nd house is the house of money. Venus is money too, but it's your own money, your own talents, your own resources, money, talents, resources, possessions. So maybe there is a desire to like invest in, since Venus rules this full moon, maybe invest money in your career or invest money in your talents, or there's a desire to spend money on something. And in the sign of Aquarius, it could be like related to some social networking opportunity that's presented itself to you. But definitely has to do with a desire to use your own money, your own resources, your own talents on something and it's very likely related to your career because Venus rules this full moon. Venus rules Libra. And then you might be getting some pushback from Mars and Taurus in the 5th house. So let me see. The 5th house is the house of our creative genius, the sharing of our talents, our creations, our hobbies. Now, how could this like work out and manifest? Squares between the 2nd house and the 5th house. This could be like second house has more to do with like the practical, like our desire to. Second house is like our talents. 5th house is the expression of talents. I'm trying to figure out like how a square here could sort of manifest itself. Hold on. This could be, hold on, guys. I have to think about this one because I made some notes. What did I say here? 2nd house, 5th house. Okay, so yeah, 2nd house could be like the need for a regular income, taking action, a desire to have like a more regular, reliable income stream versus, just for the sake of, just for the sake of being creative. Or it could be like the desire to have to work on using your talents for to achieve like a regular income stream, versus, you know, Mars in the 5th, the desire to like pursue like recreational, creative recreational things like that. It could also be, the 5th house is one's children, so it could be it could manifest as like a child having a strain on your finances, 2nd house, or it could manifest as you know, a lover having a strain on your finances and on your resources. Or being possessive of, the 2nd house is possessive of a lover, or like a child, or one of your children, or something like that. But what really sticks out to me is like the stable income thing versus creating just for the sake of creating, or using your talents to achieve some kind of stable income. Or, you know, the possibility of like one of your creations, it could be a child or a mental creation, sort of weighing on you financially. But Venus, the financial stuff is going to win out. Venus in the 2nd house, some hope or goal or wish that you have related to money and resources and possessions, accumulating that. And you get a chance to follow that due to an opportunity that Jupiter is going to present to you from the 12th house, Jupiter and Sagittarius in the 12th house. So this could be the opportunity to make more money or to accumulate more resources through 12th house, long distance travel, through something having to do with foreign lands, foreign faraway lands, due to surrendering something. The 12th house has to do with surrendering, letting go, like letting go. In this case, if there's something that you have to let go of, Jupiter gives you the strength and the grace to let go. And from that will come an opportunity to expand like your own, your resources. 12th house, Jupiter in the 12th house can also act as a guardian angel. So you can get help from the unseen that you would have never seen coming. And it can help to help you in the financial, in the resources department. What else is the 12th house? I talked about letting go. The 12th house is the house of the unconscious, the deep unconscious. So it can be stuff coming to you up from the deep unconscious through symbols in the world, or through dreams. The 12th house rules dreams and sleep. Take note of your dreams, like the answers and the opportunities can come through your dreams as well. And again, they'll benefit you in that 2nd house area. Money, possessions, finances. I talk about money, possessions, resources. You could develop like a new talent or something like that, or financially benefit from one of your talents. Okay, Aquarius. The full moon is happening for you in the 9th house. So something is being revealed regarding 9th house topics, your belief system. Your belief systems, your aspirations in life, your purpose in life, how you look at the world. I have an Aquarius rising, so I know, like, I'm experiencing, I'm very much going through this right now, some kind of revelations or some kind of fruit related to a new take on the world. What's your big picture? What's your philosophy about life? Something that expands your mind, expands your viewpoint. It could have something to do with, you know, some guru. The 9th house is gurus, or some teacher giving you some spiritual wisdom that expands your viewpoint, or someone from a different culture, and someone from a different culture that you're in a partnership with, Libra, helping to expand your mind. It's also the house. 9th house is also, because it has to do with big groups. It's one of the universal houses. It also has to do with publicity, getting yourself out there, getting your message out there. Like, what am I doing right now? Right? So that's how it could work. This could work for you, Aquarius. Definitely having to do with changing, like if you've been working on your state of mind and your belief system, your idea and vision of God, like you'll gain a greater understanding, greater revelation, some fruits from any work that you've been doing on your belief system, your philosophy, expanding your mind. Ninth house rules higher education as well. So if you're in university, you know, it could come through that, or some teacher that you have at university as well. But certainly the chance, something that helps to expand your mind and your overall faith in the universe, and your purpose in life. So Venus in Aquarius is happening in your first house, Aquarius. So Venus is you. You are Venus. You desire to take action and to put yourself out there in a positive light. Remember, Venus rules balance and diplomacy. Like Libra wants to Venus wants to have a nice image, get a nice image out there and relate to others in a positive and diplomatic way. So that's you, Aquarius, while Venus is moving through your sign. And it's square Mars and Taurus. So I can, in the fourth house. So I can tell you how this, where this crisis is coming for you. So the first house is very, very much has to do with how it has to do with our individual personality, like the natural expression of that, how we take action, how we begin things, how we see the world and how we relate to the world, how we go out and take action and do things. And the fourth house is the house of family and past conditioning from family. It can rule one of the parents. It's also land, real estate, our home, and it's what we're comfortable with. And so there may be there's some kind of crisis related to the desire to put yourself out there, to large groups of people, Aquarius, versus maybe not being completely comfortable with that due to past conditioning, due to your family's expectations of you. Mars and Taurus is very practical. So, Aquarius at heart is because it has Taurus on the fourth house, it's a pretty practical sign. It can be it can have pretty practical values and conditioning. And, due to that past conditioning, due to your family's expectations or, what you're comfortable with, you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. And again, Venus is going to win here. So the desire to put yourself out there, to act, to get your self out there to an audience is going to win, as Jupiter provides an opportunity to do that tonight and tomorrow in the next, the next couple of days. And again, this is going to be with us over the next year. Jupiter provides an opportunity to do that in Sagittarius from the 11th house. And what is the 11th house? The 11th house is the house traditionally associated with Aquarius. And that is the house of large groups, friends, networks, organizations that you belong to, communities. Get yourself out there in front of an audience. Like, how perfect is this, guy? This is what I'm doing. And I set this up without, I hadn't even looked at I didn't even know this whole aspect was going on. But isn't astrology just beautiful cosmic symmetry, right? Yes. And so, very much it's giving you the opportunity to get yourself out there and in front of people, opportunities for networking, and in building, a tribe, who sort of have the same values as you and will allow you to achieve some of your hopes, goals, and wishes and objectives. That's very Aquarius, 11th house. Okay, Pisces. last but certainly not least, Pisces, the full moon is happening in your 8th house. Your 8th house, which is that deeply psychological house. So there are some revelations coming to you about deep bonding with others, deep intimacy with others. Maybe coming to you regarding, I forgot to mention this. I said the 8th house is very psychological. It's a deeply psychological house. It has to do with like our past traumas and the things that we're ashamed of about ourselves, but it also has to do with crises and transformation, death and rebirth. So if you're going through any crises right now, Pisces, especially related to relationships, because remember, Libra rules relationships, there can be some kind of revelation, some kind of completion, some kind of fruit, answer being provided to you for that. Finally answers coming to you about that and how to handle, any crisis that you've been going through, any desires for intimacy and deep bonding, any issues you've been having there. Tonight, in the next couple of days, you get answers about that. And maybe some hidden information coming to light, maybe regarding a relationship as well. And then Venus in Aquarius is showing the desire, and that's happening for you in your 12th house, Pisces. How perfect, Pisces. 12th house is the house that is naturally associated with Pisces. And they're very similar. Pisces and the 12th house both have to do with the collective. That's where they're comfortable, merging with the collective, no boundaries, the divine, in touch with the divine, always thinking about the divine and the spiritual aspects of life, and merging with other people. And so there's a desire to do that. Also, 12th house is shows a desire to let go, to surrender of something, maybe a desire to go within and get away from the outside world. So that could be, 12th house is meditation, going away, traveling to faraway lands, going to like a spa or a resort, and just getting away from it all. So there's a desire to do that for you, Pisces, but you're getting some pushback from Mars and Taurus in the 3rd house. Now, again, Mars has to do with work. Taurus is very practical, and the 3rd house is also a pretty practical house. It's about, it has to do with our daily, our immediate environment. Maybe you've got some responsibilities or some work that you have to do there that seems to prevent you from getting away from it all. Or maybe, it's thinking, some kind of thinking that you have that you feel like it's holding you back from, and you like to surrender it, 12th house. What else is 12th house? It could be the 3rd house. It could be like a responsibility or that you have to like a sibling, aunt, uncle, cousin, or some small group that you're a part of, or some responsibility you have in your neighborhood. 3rd house rules neighborhoods. It could be like a responsibility you have if you're on your condo board or something, and you want to get away to like Tahiti or something like that. Like, this is how it could manifest. Yes, so the 3rd house is where you're getting pushback. You're thinking maybe something someone said to you is sort of playing havoc with you, and you feel like, like there's some resistance to like letting go of like old, outdated thinking patterns that you have. I don't know, again, it could be related to your siblings or a small environment. Or, again, 3rd house is all forms of communication, talking, speaking, writing. But your Venus in Aquarius in the 12th house of letting it all go and getting away and surrendering is going to win out for you, Pisces. And that's due to an opportunity that Jupiter presents from your 10th house. Jupiter and Sagittarius in the 10th house. And you may have an opportunity to get away from it all, or surrender, or to maybe delve into the unconscious and get some inspiration from the unconscious, that's very 12th house, through someone that represents the 12th house, the 10th house for you. So the 10th house is the career. Your career may offer you the opportunity to get away from it all, or some authority may offer you like an opportunity to, also the 12th house. 8th house is other people's money, where you're having the full moon. That's the house of taxes as well. And the 12th house is the house of hidden expenses, of like hidden expenses. So if you owed money on your taxes, 8th house, maybe that's what the full moon in Libra revealed to you. And like you have these hidden expenses. Jupiter in the 10th house could, through some authority, in some way offers you a way to like sort of pay it off or get out of it. You know, it could be like your one of your parents like offering to help you pay like any money that you owe off, or you know, it doesn't have to be related to taxes, but 8th house is taxes as well, because it's other people's money. And so, yeah, it could be, you could have an opportunity to surrender something, let something go, get away from the everyday, through an opportunity presented by your career, or through your reputation or your status, or one of your parents, or through some authority figure or boss, if you have a boss, if you work for someone. Okay. So 9:50, wow, I've been going since 8 p.m. guys. So my voice is sort of getting a little tired here. I'm going to go through Uranus through the houses, and I'm going to let you know which part of your lives are going to be revolutionized based on your zodiac sign. You can listen for sun and moon, of course, but most accurate is rising. And I do not think I will get to the eclipses on this live stream. I'm going to do eclipses are coming up this summer. I'm going to do future videos on them, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I do want to do Uranus because this is like the biggest celestial event of the year. Uranus is the planet. Uranus is the sky god. You know, if you know your mythology, you know Uranus was, he made it with Gaia, the earth goddess, and like he created all these far out wacky, they created so many things, like, and some of them were like kind of far out and wacky. And so Uranus is a planet that is known as the rebel of the zodiac. It shocks us, it breaks us down, it helps, but through that breakdown, we come through a breakthrough. It revolutionizes, it's rebellion. And wherever Uranus is in your chart is where you do not want to be told what to do. And it's where your life will be revolutionized. And Taurus is the sign that likes change the least. Tauruses they're known for being very stubborn, very attached to their ways. Taurus is an energy that doesn't really like change, but Uranus going through Taurus for the next 7 years will break all that up. And by the end of this transit, you'll be a different person in that area of your life. And wherever Taurus is where you resist change the most in your chart. So I'll go through where, you know, this is happening for each sign. So for Aries, that's going to be in your second house of your values, your money, your possessions, your talents. So I can just tell you, Taurus, that by the end of this transit, I think Uranus leaves Taurus in like 2026, and then it goes into Gemini. But I can tell you, Aries, your values will be totally different by the end of this transit. Your relationship to your finances and your resources and your talents as well, and your self-worth. Because your values, the reason the second house rules values and money, it rules both of those, our value is reflected in our self-worth and our money. Those are two things that are very closely tied together. Based on how much we value ourselves, that's how much we think we can earn. So for you, Aries, those topics are going to be completely revolutionized. And by the end of this transit, they're going to be totally different. Your relationship to money, you're going to be liberated from any, you know, solid, rigid attitudes that you've had to, you know, your value system, your money, your resources, and how you use your talents. For Taurus rising, Taurus sun, Taurus moon, especially, and people that have other planets in Taurus, whatever you have in Taurus, but Taurus specifically, especially if you're Taurus rising, your identity and your personality is going to be totally changed, and your path in life is going to be transformed, revolutionized. Revolutionize is like the word I would use for Uranus. So the path you're on now, by the end of these, by the end of the next 7 years, it's going to be, it will have changed quite a bit. And like for people with Taurus rising and Taurus sun and Taurus moon, these are people that like resist change quite a bit. And you will sort of be forced to let go of what rising and what you thought your path was, how you relate to the outside world, your personality. For Taurus suns, you know, your identity will be totally transformed at some point over these next 7 years. And for Taurus moons, it's going to be like an emotional liberation. You're finally going to be able to let go of anything that was you were sort of stuck holding on to, because it's hard for Taurus, especially when it's hard for Tauruses to let go, especially when your moon is in Taurus. The moon rules the emotions. Okay, Gemini. For Geminis, this is happening in your 12th house. Hold on, guys. I have to. Okay, I'm back now. So for Geminis, this is happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house is the house of the unconscious or unconscious complexes, things that we hold on to that sort of work against us. They're like self-undoing habits that we have. It's also the way that we let go and surrender, how we surrender things. Gemini, the way that you let go, the way that you surrender things, and the way that you sort of the relationship that you have with surrendering, letting go with unconscious complexes, those things are going to be broken up for you, especially for the rising signs. Those things are going to be broken up. Those unconscious complexes, that self-undoing behavior that you have, that's going to be broken up and let go of over the next 7 years, so that when Uranus enters your first house, you'll be ready for that, what Taurus is going through now, that change in your destiny, in your life path. But first, Uranus is going to finish up in your 12th house, which is the last house, guys. And all that unconscious residue that's stuck back there, that's hidden back there. So ordinarily, you wouldn't think a sign like Gemini would have like a lot of that, because it's so changeable. And guys, like in 1 minute, 2 minutes, my IG is going to shut down. I'm going to start it again. I only have like 10-15 minutes to go. I want to finish Uranus. But just so you know, if you want to hop back on and hear the rest of the Uranus through the signs, just know that I'm going to start it right back when it goes out. It says I have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So yeah, Gemini, all those unconscious complexes that you have, that stuff is going to be brought up for you to see out of the hidden 12th house. And it's going to be, you're going to have to let go of that. 12th house can be kind of a scary house, because that stuff is like hidden deep in us. And Uranus is going to be bringing that out. Okay, for Cancer, Uranus is going through your 11th house over these next 7 years. And that is going to revolutionize your how you relate to friends, how you relate to, you know, the friendship groups that you're part of, the networks, organizations that you're part of. And also it's going to, you know, that'll be totally different. Not to say you'll lose like those friends who are in true alignment with your life's path, but anybody that is not, they'll be let go of, and you'll have a lot of new friends by the time that by the time Uranus leaves Taurus, and your hopes, goals, and wishes will be transformed as well. So what do you think your hopes, goals, and wishes are now? That's going to be like totally different by 2026 when Uranus gets ready to leave your 11th house. For Leo, okay, I'm back, guys. Okay, for Leo, Uranus, I had to for anybody that was wondering what I just did, I had to restart my IG because they only let you go for like 30 minutes or something like that. So for Leo, the Uranus is going to be transiting your 10th house for the next 7 years. The 10th house is the house of career, our career goals, our idea of authority, outer authority, and it's where we come into our own inner authority. It's also the dominant parent in our life, the one who has like the strongest influence over you. And it's your relationship to authority. And so all those topics are going to be transformed or more revolutionized over the next 7 years. Uranus in the 10th house, like your idea, what your idea was of regarding your career goals were last year, that's going to be totally transformed over the next 7 years. And by the end of 2026, like you'll have totally new career goals. You might be in a totally different career. Your relationship with your dominant parent may have totally transformed. You know, you may have rebelled against their influence over you in some way in order to get in touch with your own inner authority. Uranus is going to revolutionize your idea of authority, and it's going to liberate you from the idea of outer authority and help you get in touch with that inner authority. Uranus is the 10th house. Like that's somebody that should be working. You may want to branch out on your own, like work for yourself or work more independently. Because Uranus in the 10th house does not like, it's not really, Uranus is not a traditional planet. So it's not really looking for like a traditional career, traditional work. So that's you. And your reputation you may get a reputation for like being really rebellious and whatnot, avant-garde. Yeah, your reputation is going to change too. But, you know, Uranus, even though, you know, he shakes things up, he can cause breakdowns. Ultimately, he causes breakthroughs. And Uranus transits are usually they liberate you from outworn patterns in the end. Okay, so I'm going to do the last 6 signs and then finish up here, guys. But I just wanted to let you guys know again that this is a very general. It's for the general population. This is not on an individualized basis. You know, everyone has their own individual chart based on the place, time, and date of your birth, and where you were born is very important. You know, I would have to know all that. So if you're interested in individual reading with me, which lasts like an hour and a half, and where I sit down with you and I go like really deep into, what archetypes are being called forth here, what is your journey, what is helping you get in touch with your own hero's journey. Go to my website, www.thetruestnorth.com, and you can see my services and schedule an appointment with me there. My IG is at The Truest North, and my Facebook page is The Truest North. Okay, moving on for Virgo. And Virgo, so Uranus is transiting your 9th house for the next 7 years. And Virgo, you will experience a breakdown, breakthrough, liberation, and revolution in the area of your belief system. So Virgo, your belief system and how you see the world now is going to be radically changed over the next 7 years as Uranus transits that 9th house. And you're going to have the opportunity for some unforeseen opportunities, because Uranus is unpredictable. It never tells you, how it's going to show up. But you'll get opportunities to expand your mind, perhaps through university education or travel or metaphysical studies or religious studies, and your belief system is just going to be transformed. And you'll be liberated from limiting beliefs about your purpose in life and the way the universe works. Okay, Libra. For you, Uranus is going to be transiting your 8th house for the next 7 years. Uranus in the 8th house is the house of, it's a very psychological house. It's the house of deep bonding, intimacy. It's where we come together with other people and where we merge with them and become one with them. So it is the house does have a very sexual connotation. It has to do with our psychological traumas and crises that we go through in life. And so those issues might be brought up for you over the next 7 years, Libra. And, there may be some crises that Uranus brings up, especially it would have to be touching especially if it's touching something else in the chart. I don't want all Libras to think, there's going to be some life or death trauma or situation, but it will bring up repressed trauma and stuff that is buried for you to deal with, because 8th houses are psychic blocks due to trauma and past crises and whatever. And Uranus pulls the lid off of things wherever he is. And you're going to be asked it's going to bring all that stuff up, and you're going to have to, deal with it, liberate yourself from it. So, once Uranus in 2027, once he moves into your 9th house, you'll be ready to transform your belief system. Okay. Your idea, also Libra, your idea of intimacy and bonding will be totally transformed as well. And also the 8th house is a very mystical house. So, and Uranus and the 8th house are both related to the occult. So you might decide to, venture into metaphysical occult studies as well. Also Uranus, because it pulls the lid off of stuff, the 8th house is what is hidden. So some hidden information could be made known to you over the next 7 years. It sort of shocks you. Okay, for Scorpio, Uranus is going to be going through your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, Scorpio. Your idea of partnerships and relating to others is going to be, you're going to be liberated. It's going to go through some breakdowns, breakthroughs, but in the end, you will be liberated from old restraining patterns that were not serving you in the area of relationships and relating to other people. Sometimes people do go through separation or divorce with Uranus transiting the 7th house, but it doesn't happen for everybody like that. But what it will say is that Uranus is going to look for more independence in relationships, and it can be experienced through you wanting more independence, or your spouse or the partner that you're in some kind of one-on-one relationship with looking for more independence or more space in some way. Doesn't mean you're going to get a divorce automatically. Don't believe that. There will have to be other stuff going on in your chart. But Uranus can free you, is going to seek to free you from limiting relational patterns that you have. It could seek to, it could like liberate you from any contracts or negotiations. That seventh house that are sort of holding you back. Any partnerships that are holding you back. Remember, seventh house is business partnerships. Business partnerships and client relationships as well. You can get some really, if you meet with clients in your line of work, you can get some really far out Uranian type clients who sort of help to liberate you in some way as far as relationships go. So yeah, how you relate to other people will look totally different at the end of the next 7 years, Scorpio. Sagittarius, Uranus is going through your sixth house over the next 7 years. And the sixth house is the house of work, routine, health, our relationship to our health, and like how we take care, how we address problems in our lives. It also rules your coworkers, employees, pets, anybody that depends on you. In some way. And it's also the service that you give to others. That's why the sixth house rules work. And so those things will be totally transformed over the next 7 years. You know, where you are working now, you most likely will not be working at this place at the end of the next 7 years with Uranus going through your sixth house. You have a totally different work environment, totally different routine, totally different relationship to your health. Totally different employer, or at least the way you do your daily work will be totally transformed. Your relationship with your employees or coworkers will be transformed as well. And any health problems that have been nagging you, Uranus here could free you from that. Uranus is like sudden strokes of genius, and you can get one that in the end liberates you from any nagging health problems that you're having. And you can learn like a really far out new skill as well, because sixth house has to do with our perfected skills. You can learn and perfect a really cool skill. Capricorn, Uranus is going to be transiting your fifth house over the next 7 years. What time is it? Okay. So Capricorn, Uranus in the fifth house is going to revolutionize your attitudes towards creativity, your own creations of your mind and creations of your body. Creations of your mind, creations of your body, which means your physical children as well. Uranus through the fifth house is known for surprise pregnancies. So just be warned. You've got Uranus going through the fifth house over the next 7 years. It's a known sign of a surprise pregnancy. So just be warned if you want to avoid that. Also, creative or authentic self-expression. There's going to be a desire to want to authentically express yourself like the real you, and you're going to want to push past any barriers that are restricting you there. Fifth house is also the house of love, relationships. I mean, not so much relationships, but like love affairs and romance. You could have some unusual romances over the next 7 years. So it can manifest like that for you, and picking up unusual new hobbies, getting into things that you've never thought you had an interest in before, and finding out that they bring you joy. And also the fifth house is the house of our divine intelligent genius. And so you can get like some strokes of genius over the next 7 years that can just give you such incredible creative ideas, and you want to act on those things and follow those things. If you get these far out ideas, of stuff that you're not sure about because nobody's ever done this before. That's Uranus. Uranus is cutting edge, so follow that. Okay, 2 more signs. Aquarius, for you, Uranus is going to be transiting the 4th house over the next 7 years. 4th house is our family, our past conditioning from family, our past emotional conditioning, where we feel safe. It is where you feel at home emotionally. It is your physical home as well. And it's the past. And so for you, Aquarius, your relationship to your family will be revolutionized in some way. It'll be totally changed, whether if you are distant from your family traditionally, you'll become closer to them. Uranus always has you do a 180. If you are close to your family, you're going to seek more independence from them, or you're going to be forced to have more independence from them. Oh my gosh. Somebody loved the show tonight. Thanks, Bria. You're going to be forced to have more independence from them. Your home, your physical home, you're going to move a lot. This is my transit. I already know, like, I'm going to be most likely moving around quite a bit. You're going to be moving a lot over the next 7 years. And your idea of family, what is family to you, that's going to be totally transformed. And Uranus through the 4th house, and this goes for Leo too, who have Uranus transiting the 10th. Those are angles which hit the ascendant and the descendant, which is the relationship axis. So for Aquarius and Leo, all the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, how you relate to other people, how you relate to other people, your relationships with other people in the outside world, all of that is going to be transformed over the next 7 years. Wherever you are now there, you're going to be like 180 degrees away from that over the next 7 years. If you don't have a family, it's very likely that you'll have a family. If you have a family, you're going to, you have a family, your own children, a spouse, you're going to seek more independence from that, more independence from the home and family. And where you are emotionally comfortable, that's going to be transformed. That's going to be totally different at the end of this transit. And finally, Pisces, last but never least, I love my Pisces. Uranus is going to be transiting your 3rd house. And I can tell you the 3rd house is the house of thinking, communicating, how we perceive our immediate environment. It is our immediate environment. The ideas that we get, how we connect things. It's marketing, commerce, connecting ideas and connecting with different contacts and different people, marketing, commerce. That's the relationship to that. All that is going to be totally transformed for you, Pisces. The way you think now will be totally different from the way you think in the next 7 years. I just got out of this transit. Uranus, when it was in Aries, it was in my 3rd house. And the way I thought in 2010 is not the way that I think now. Not the way I perceived the world then is not the way that I perceive the world now. The way I communicated then is not the way I communicate now. So you can expect the same change for you. Your relationships with your siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins can be, transformed in some way. If you're close to them now, you could become more distant, seek more independence from them. If you're distant from them now, you could become closer to them. So yes, there you go. I didn't get to the solar eclipses tonight, guys. It's 10:18. I don't want to keep you guys here forever, but thank you so much for joining me. Again, my website is www.thetruestnorth.com. I do individual readings. So let me just make sure I answered all the questions in the chat. I did, and I'm going to go ahead and end this video. And I'm so happy with my first live stream. Happy Astrological New Year. Happy International Astrology Day. Remember to take action wherever your full moon happens to be. This is going to set the tone for the next the next year, and take the opportunity that Jupiter presents for you. Okay, bye-bye.